Let me start the recording and share my screen. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, we can.
So, as always, please, this is actually October 30th. As always, please put your name under the attendees so to just know who was in the meeting. And let's start off with a few points about ONF Connect. And let's start with welcome of Starlight in ODTN. I think that's better. So Hayush and Puneet, who are in the call, are from Starlight, and we recently had a few discussions on how they could join the project, and they're very well interested in ODTN, especially around the use case 1.0, 1.5, and the future phases. And I invited them to join the call to understand what is the current state of things and see where they can best plug in. We are currently discussing on the possibility of and on the current capability of Starlight on helping us on different tasks around the ODTM project. And I'll just let Ayush and Puneet just maybe introduce to everybody who's not aware of what Starlight is and what you guys are planning to contribute to ODTN. So, for example, Artur and Dominique probably don't know who Starlight is.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Andrea. So my name is Ayush Sharma, and I think for those who have been within the ONF, so probably I know most of the guys within the ONF, ONOS. And sort of what I'm doing is, and Starlight is a company. So Andrea, it's Starlight, so not Starlight. So one correction,
sorry.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. It's an unknown company in that aspect till today. But I'm heading the programmable networking and intelligence business here. So we call ourselves well-funded startup. So essentially, the company operates in the fiber passive media space and OSS BSS space. So what I, along with one of MDOC's CEO and the guy who used to work for Qualcomm and Chipset, so we started a company within the Starlight technology. I started a business which is, we are calling it programmable networking and intelligence. So we got about about $100 million of funding for first round, essentially for us to kind of get going and start with developing the products which are software based and AI based, and leveraging the open source. And me being big proponent and kind of advocate of open source, and which I believe that for disaggregation, building disaggregated products and building network programmability sort of software, it is important to use the open source, and very, very vital for open source to be used. So I continued with that kind of interest and passion. And we also have a network here, which is Carrier's Carrier Network. The network, when I say it's in India, actually. And the company is global. It's $500 million kind of revenue, about operating in 30 different countries, and also having a footprint of fiber in at least 40 carriers around the world. And so we're going to use that footprint, but we have a local network here, which is FTTX network, and we have a lab, which is pretty much everything you say in optical, we would have that. We've acquired a company in Italy. We have a base position in Brazil and China, and we're going to continue to extend the footprints over there. So, but the idea is, intention within this particular project is for us to kind of leapfrog from here, use the assets, and contribute to the project so that we can fast track the deployment and work with some of our customers in solving the common use cases and problems. So I think without belaboring too much, maybe Andrea, I'll stop there. I think that should be good enough for people to get the context. But if there are any questions, guys, I mean, feel free to connect us offline. Happy to chat offline or have a discussions during the ONF Connect as well, where we plan to be there.
Thanks for the presentation, Ayush. That was quite the perfect overview, I think. And thanks for stepping up and giving us a hand. So that's greatly appreciated. And right about ONF Connect. Oh, sorry. Are there any questions? Arturo, Dominique, Hiroki. I mean, Hiroki knows everybody, so.
No questions from my side.
Okay.
Yeah, the same for me.
Okay. So regarding the ONF Connect demo, I don't have at the moment any update. Planning to have a call with a few people from Adva and from Infinera Coriant this week. I'll let everybody know how those go. At the moment, I'm still pursuing the idea of having those two Cassini boxes integrated into the ODTN project and an OLS. Let's see where that leads. But more importantly, I want to hear everybody's opinion on the possibility of doing a working day around ODTN at ONF the day before ONF Connect, meaning that ONF Connect starts Tuesday the 4th of December. And I was wondering if it was of interest of this group, since I believe many of us will be there, to have a specific working day or at least a couple of hours of meeting around ODTN to discuss some technical details, some state of the project and things like that in person at the offices in Menlo Park. Would that be of interest?
Absolutely, yes, from our side, Andre. This is Ayush, and I'm speaking on behalf of Starlight. So yeah, we'll be a couple of guys there arriving, and we'll love to kind of be there in the workshop.
Yes, from
So we'll be actually.
that'll be.
Sorry, my apology.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we'll be 3 to 4 people. So because I saw Andre typing, so including me, there are 3 to 4. I'll be in and out, but I'll leave it to the experts who can contribute better than me. So
sure, that's great. Hiroki, anything?
Yes, from NTT.com, I can. That'd be great, and I can join their meeting anytime, and maybe if it will be held on Monday, and I can join.
That's good.
And from Nokia side, I think Quan will be there, and for sure will be, and I will be there too. So at least it is planned 2 people will be from Nokia can be there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to travel for ONF Connect, as you know. Victor, I think that is also not going to be there during those days, but I could join remotely if it's possible for the session.
Yes, it will be great that you can join remotely.
Yes. So it might be that we would need to do it in the morning, and that would be okay. Yeah, let me plan about that, if possible. Yeah, let's see if I can plan it also to enable remote participation. Yeah. So we can also have maybe some people from the Metro Hall project, if that would be possible, like Ramon and Alessio. Let's see if they can also join.
Yeah, Ramon today, unfortunately, he couldn't join because he has a medical appointment. But I will let him know about this date. Probably he will review the notes anyway, but in case I will share with him.
Okay, thanks. And hello, Roberto, welcome.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon,
we
good
were-
morning.
Good afternoon and good morning. Well, I guess we were just to bring you up to speed. We were just discussing the possibility of having a working day during the day before ONF Connect. Are you gonna attend?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, maybe then you can join remotely
Sure.
if possible. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, my plan was really about going and diving into some technical details and some implementation goals slash tasks and like current state of the project with the people that are actually contributing to it. So we form a plan after ONF Connect. For the weeks and the months after that, so that would be my idea. And to meet in person, it's always good to do. Okay, so another bit of an update. I was invited to OFC, and I would like to mention is just that I will talk about ODTN in our demo track, which I submitted and is still there. And also, I was invited to this network symposium on network automation, and I made a proposal. You can see it there. Please feel free to give any feedback. There is a mention of ODTN in there in the intent use cases of ONOS. It's just FYI, and so there will be a mention of ONOS in there. As of this morning, sorry, any questions? No. Okay. We might also.
Andrea, sorry.
Yes.
This is Arturo. Just one question. So this demo proposal, it's more like a tutorial, or it is within, let's say, the demo spot of OFC? Because I didn't have the time to review it in detail, but as far as I see, it's more like a presentation of the context of the.
Yeah, this was something apart from the demo. So we have a demo proposal submitted to the demo zone of OFC.
Mm-hmm.
And then I personally was invited to this this symposium, which is a presentation about the intent-based networking and how ONOS has that and implements that, and ONOS as an example platform of the intent-based networking. And on top of that, I just mentioned one use case which we are currently planning to do which is ODTN to control the middle part between the two transponders with an optical path intent. Just that. This is a presentation.
Understood. Just one question more. Is the OFC demo proposal already submitted?
Yes, it was already submitted. I did submit it by the deadline that was initially, if I'm not mistaken, October the 8th. They extended it to November the 9th. I integrated it with a few comments from Dominique and Quam, if I'm not mistaken. There was a few comments that came after I submitted it, so I did that. And it's up for review.
Okay, just because my understanding was that this this deadline was extended until November the 9th. And well, maybe it's time that I can share a bit an update regarding the discussion that I had with ADBA regarding their participation on ODTN. Sure. After the proposal that we shared with them regarding their participation in ODTN, basically the 2 points that they were on the table was that they were participating as contributors for the OLS part, so they can, let's say, provide an OLS implementation with SDN controller exposing TAPI 2.1. Their view is this was the proposal, and the scope was twofold. It was one, evaluating their possibility to participate or to contribute this implementation for the ONF Connect, and the second one, it was for OFC demo. Then their thought is that for ONF Connect it was impossible to have the TAPI 2.1 implemented as it has been released quite soon. So for them it was possible maybe to present or to work with an early stage implementation based on previous versions of TAPI.
Okay.
That maybe could work for something to be presented in ONF Connect, but not with the TAPI 2.1, not with the latest version and the RESTconf interface. And then the second part, it was that they were able to meet, let's say, the deadline for contributing the OLS part with the full support of TAPI 2.1 for the OFC demonstration. So as I was asking before, if it was already submitted, I think that I would like to review the proposal, and in case if it is considered that ADVA it is, let's say, a good contributor for the project, maybe it will be important to review the document in order to evaluate if we can include them in the proposal. Because if they will participate, probably they they would like to be there in the photo, as they will contribute with their OLS.
Yes, that's a good point. So what I'll do is that I'll share the proposal with you. In the proposal was not specific at all in the devices that we went and controlled for this specific reason, in the sense that we did not want to tie ourselves to any specific vendor. I'll share the demo. I'll share the demo doc with you on an email and see with that and discuss up on it offline. Does that sound good?
Yes. Yeah, from my side, I think that well, I would like just first to see the document. As you mentioned, there is no mention to a specific vendor there. So this is a good point. This is something that we can keep it like this, as I think that is important to keep, let's say, the proposal from the ONF side and let's say from the ODTN group side. Just maybe one of the guys we are working with in ADVA would like to review also the document and maybe give some comments. But in any case, I think that we can start the discussion offline. We can review the document and then we can see how we can, let's say, fit ADVA into that.
Sure, makes sense. I'll share the document with you and with everybody, and I'll let's take the discussion from there. Okay.
Sure.
And maybe also to ONF Connect. During OFC, we could maybe plan a meeting for people that are coming there. That's far-fetched. We'll see. It's March, so. As of this morning, we also merged the update from Hiroki to TAPI 2.1 on the northbound of ONOS. So from the ONOS northbound, we're now capable of receiving TAPI 2.1 requests, and that has been included in the current master. So with the current master, you're capable of using TAPI 2.1 constructs to provision the point-to-point phase 1.0 implementation. And that will help us towards phase 1.5 to make the translation towards the OLS. Thanks to Hiroki and Arturo, who provided, thanks to Hiroki, who provided the quote from NTT and Dai also, that enabled us to put it on the blog post. Arturo, I think it's still missing the Telefonica quote, if you want to provide that.
I think the latest comment from Victor was that you had a proposal to review.
Yes.
I think that you already have it. Let me just read it this afternoon, and then probably I don't have any issue to let's say to quote it. Yeah, I take it as an action point.
Yes, I don't know where it went, but okay, whatever. Yeah, I'll maybe send an email to you about this.
Just one little thing, Andrea. If you could add Victor also in the mails that you send to me normally, because he's a little bit like not aware of all the updates of the ODTN project, because normally he's not able to join the calls, but he would like to be included in the
Most definitely.
wires. Okay.
Okay. So about the OLS discussion update. So Arturo, you told us about the ADVA participation in ODTN with the OLS controller with TAPI 2.1 for the OFC demo. Do you have anything else to share?
No, I would like maybe to hear a bit about, or maybe to discuss with you, the plans for the development of the TAPI 2.1 driver in the southbound interface, because I think this is a more important point that we need to work on in the following months. So I would like to understand how it could be possible, or which is going to be the work group, which is going to be the people who is going to contribute on that part. Internally in Telefonica, we have been working with ONOS for a while. We have one person who is working with the platform and getting in touch to it. It has been a little bit, let's say, long curve of learning for him, but he's starting to understand how it is working. So I think probably he will be able to contribute, but not solely. So maybe it will be important to identify a couple of persons, 2, 3, that are going to work on this, and it will be likely that he could also join this group, this small group, and start contributing into it.
Yes. So it's a good point. So I think that we can leverage this guy. I could put in some work on this, and I expect also if the other people are gonna join us, that we get help from them, because I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
And I know that Sterlite has some resources, so I think we can also tap into those. And yeah, that's about it, I think. We could also maybe use a little bit of Hiroki's help, if possible.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll do.
Yeah, I will talk also with Ramon in order to understand his
Yes.
willingness to contribute into it as well. And based on that, let's see if we can, let's say, make a group of 3, 4 people in order to leverage this.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll put. We have the plan to develop it. I mean, I know which classes need to be implemented and all of that. So let's figure that out and see where it leads. I think that it's not going to be a very big effort. I know Ramon was also working on the translation between TAPI and the optical intent. I would actually prefer him to stick to that, since he probably already started on it. So we'll see. We'll see where that we'll see where that leads. But I'll start a thread about it on the mailing list. Okay, Hiroki, do you have any update on the Cassini box integration?
Yes, I had a meeting with IP Infusion Guide last week, and we discussed about the possible collaboration in how to use OpenConfig to configure the Cassini box. But maybe you might already know. I found that the Cassini box doesn't have capability to configure this optical parameters. like modulation in the fake and anything else. So all we can do as for now is that to configure the enable and disable Cassini box port and the mapping between line side port and the client side port. That is all we can do. So that is the same use case of our ODTN phase 1.0. So now I assume that I think there are a few things we have to do to and implement additionally towards the ODTN, ONF Connect demonstration.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure, but the current there are no current implementation of the northbound of Cassini, and they start their working maybe this week. So I'm not sure we can provide the Cassini box demonstration as the ONF Connect.
Okay. Okay. Maybe too early. Okay. Let's do this. Why don't we observe the state of things for next week and see how much they get developed, how much is developed from the people at IP Infusion and EdgeCore, and let's decide next week whether to have this included in the demo or have other types of hardware be present and be controlled by ONOS at the demo. So the problem regarding the configuration, this only capability of configuration is that we would not be able to configure it during phase 1.5 because we also need to configure the lambdas on the line side ports. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. But and they in the Cassini box they're using transport abstraction interface and integrated with it. But I'm sorry, I don't know the detail. But the optical parameters is currently hard coded in there somewhere. Like transport abstraction interface driver and something like that. So they can't provide the northbound interface for these kind of parameters because of the current implementation of the. Maybe it's not the problem of ONOS. I'm sorry, I'm not sure, but it seems like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I think it takes some time to solve this kind of problem.
Yeah, I could maybe follow up on this to understand better. Also on my side, I could maybe follow up with Dilip and other of the people from that project. I think because I think this is a very important point towards phase 1.5 and onwards. And without this, the Cassini box is not really useful in any given deployment because if you have only one power configuration, that's not suitable to any deployment.
Yes.
So
Thank you for your help. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to understand this better myself and see where we can help also on maybe defining what is needed and see what we can do. Regarding ONF Connect, I'll also put together let me do this. I'll also put together a fallback plan if I'll do that. I'll put together a fallback plan as a really like bottom level, what we could do is to have the phase 1.0 demos that we have done. And I know it's something that we already shown, but at least it is something, and we're not talking about nothing. And let's see where we go with the OLS integration and that. I think that having hardware at the venue might prove difficult. So we'll see. I'll have to think about this a little bit more about how to do it properly. But okay. Thanks for the update.
Andrea,
That's good. Yes.
Andrea, can I I'll give a presentation which is regarding to the custom box integration with ODTN. And MTT Lab guys who are working for tip candy, and now they are willing to give a presentation for the ODTN track of the ONF Connect. So can we give a presentation together in my presentation time frame? Is that possible?
So that's a good question. Let me do this. Let me follow up with you offline to understand better what will be the presentation about.
Okay, got it.
And see if we can fit it in your talk. I mean, it's definitely broadening the scope of the talk a little bit, because first it was just really only about Cassini, and now it's talking about the broader candy, maybe. But maybe we can find the proper way to fit it in. Let's see how that leads. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So let's talk about that offline. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. State of the drivers. So I went in and did a review of the Infinera drivers patch, and I got also some feedback from Ramon and from Utah, which was previously at ONF and was working on the ODTN project. So it seems that the patch in itself is needed, and it's working code. It raised some questions about the capability of the DCS to properly abstract and properly create model objects out of a Yang model. But we kind of knew those issues already, and they are captured in the document that I have shared with the group, which is the configuration document down here. And those problems that we have encountered and shown in this patch are captured over there. So my plan is to actually go ahead and, I mean, there's a few open points yet, but my plan for this patch is go ahead and merge it. To go ahead and merge it, and thus enabling us to use it for current state of things. And whenever DCS 2.0 or dynamic configuration revamped gets done, we can look at porting this to whatever DCS 2.0 is. But since the great effort was put in by the NTT folks and Hamano in particular, my guess is that it would be okay to merge it. Any thoughts on this? Do you guys have any opportunity to take a look at the patch?
And from our side, that would be great in that practical way, practical approach, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then I think I'll do that and see where that takes us on things. And also thanks to different efforts, I'm trying to revamp the document of configuration. I got some bit of help from Jordan Halterman and to integrate it with some of the more implementation details about the state of what we would like to do. I think that having the meeting at ONF Connect and bringing in some of the folks from other RDs might actually help. I might think about doing that and organizing a session inside the Monday that we were talking about this. Yeah, I think I can do that. Okay. Okay, and I believe there is no update from Ramon or Alessio regarding the OpenConfig drivers from Metro Hall project. Arturo?
No, from Ramon's side, he just told me that he will come back, let's say, to implementation efforts because basically he has been with review meetings and so on the past few weeks, and also OFC. I think it consumed him a lot of resources, but I think that he will continue in the next weeks with the implementation efforts on that.
Okay, yeah, then I'll maybe reach out to him to understand what is the proper status of that. And I think it's the same about the TAPI 2 intent translation because I know him and Alessio were working on it. So I think we have to put it on the side a little bit for now. Yeah, the rest of it is the usual discussions with the transponder API and the configuration session, the configuration document. Yeah. Do you guys have any other question? Anything else you would like to talk about? Dominique, I think you mentioned that you wanted to talk to Lubo from Nokia about your OLS effort. Do you have any update on that? Did we lose Dominique? He's muted. Dominique? You're muted.
Sorry, I was mute. Excuse me, Andrea.
No, it's fine.
Apologize. I was. It was supposed to meet with to catch with Lubo on Friday, this last Friday, to discuss this point. But unfortunately, I couldn't. It was not possible for Lubo. He was on business travel. But before that, as soon as I have updates, I will report to you on that.
Okay, thanks for that. And just one quick question. Would you be able, or Quan at least, would you be able to contribute to the generic driver for TAPI 2.1 since the OLS might speak TAPI 2.1?
Yes, sure. Quan is on the yes. Yes, we are in fact organizing ourselves to do it. Yes, definitely. But this week it has been pretty hectic and to start this week. But we will start next week.
Okay. Okay. Then yes, I'll start an email about people that can contribute to this, and let's get the context and let's get the thing rolling. I can put in the overview work, and I can put in a few steps that need to be done and assign them to people. So I'll see about that. Okay. Any other questions? Any other points? If not, there is one thing that I would like to bring up is that thanks to the participation of Sterlight, we're actually looking, and let me put this here, we're actually looking at doing some QA on the current ODTN platform. And what I mean by QA is at least at the start, at the initial point, having something that tests the master of ODTN, of ONOS with the ODTN apps as of every night, so we can catch anything that stops us from doing, for example, phase 1.0 right when it gets merged. So that's something that I think it's gonna be a big important thing, and I'm gonna talk with Hayush about it, and I think this is gonna be a great contribution. Also, because we at ONF currently have not done it due to the lack of a physical setup in the Menlo Park lab. So I think having it on a third-party lab, it's actually a great thing to have.
Yeah, definitely, Andreas. Oh, very open to that. And also, I think if there is any material to ramp up the engineers who could have a very basic understand, because I guess like now hearing from you guys, I see there is a lot of contributions which have gone in, and a lot to be done still. But I think it'll be good to kind of pick up certain areas for the new guys so that they can ramp up quickly. I mean, I have the guys who do have a decent optical understanding, and they come from again with Ericsson and Huawei kind of optical products background. They may not be that well versed with the whole ODTN yet. So, but I think having some sort of a base material and pointers would be useful. So I'll ask if you can send it across, and then we can certainly look into the QA aspect, and I'll have Puneet kind of start evaluating along with Saurabh and a bunch of others, and then provide you and perhaps rest of the team update as to what our thought process is, and then kind of revise that based on the feedback from everyone in the community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think a good starting point is the phase 1.0 demo, which is on the ODTN.
Okay.
So
okay, perfect.
replicating that with the emulators that Hiroki put together, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay. It's just a stub. It's just a stub. There's no real traffic over there, but I think it's like getting up ONOS, getting up ODTN, trying out the emulators and seeing if everything works. That's the first step.
Okay.
So I think that's it's good enough on my side.
Okay, so sure, excellent. So I can put 2-3 guys to kind of get started on that, so that we can at least ramp up something, you know, as we check along.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks for that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And just forgot to mention, the schedule for ONF Connect has been released as of this morning. So if you actually go to the ONF Connect website, if you take a look at the program schedule, it has been announced. And we do have the ODTN track, which is comprised of these talks. So just push it out there and let people know that the schedule is up if they are interested and want to participate in ONF Connect and learn about ODTN. It's a good venue. Any other questions, points?
Yes, I may raise the voice because I was asked to update the demo session for the fully disaggregated transport network demonstration. I sent to you and Bill an update because it was also something where we wanted also to not in fact focus on fully disaggregated, but on partially disaggregated transport networks with 5G networks, 5G application scenarios to be shown. That's why we may have some. We ask for some updates according to the demo session part. Sorry if it was a little bit late. I sent it this afternoon to you.
Yes, I saw the email.
But
I unfortunately cannot make the call by myself, so I'll wait for Bill's opinion, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Then we can go from there. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Okay. Yes. And Hiroki, I will talk to you about the candy tip thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Okay, if not, I mean, we're 10 minutes early, but I think we can wrap it up. And I'm going to take the action points and share the material with everybody and all the things that I wrote down today. The most important of which is probably set up the team for the OLS 2.1 drivers integration. And I'll do that right away. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.